Hi, and good to see you again. It's been a long time. Quite a lot's happened over the last 2 or 3 months. Just wanted to touch on a few things. First of all, my father passed away. He's the main reason that I'm pretty handy with my hands. He's taught me everything that I know, and that's why I'm doing this. So I just want to say cheers, Dad. Done a road trip across Canada. Well, not quite across, it's a big old place, yeah. But I did a Vancouver to Calgary over a couple of weeks, which was fantastic, and saw some amazing sights and experiences. So highly recommended to go and see a bit of Canada. And of course, plenty of jobs for my wife in the garden. However, thankfully, I can now return to the garage because the car is back. Let's take a look. All right, so here it is. Basically, it went to Ream Machine for about 2 months or so, 2.5 months. They had quite a lot of other work in, and there was a bit of an illness on site as well. But no problem at all. We had the time to spare, so well worth waiting for. Spectacular job that they've done here. It's in this, I think it's an Aston Martin green. It's got some pop in the paint. It's got some metallic in the paint, and some kind of almond green. Doesn't really come out too well here. Be even better in the sun. I'm sure you've already seen the pictures on Facebook if you follow Ream Machine, and if you don't, I suggest you do, because it's absolutely top notch. No overspray. Everything it's like glass. It's absolutely pristine. So I can't rate them highly enough, and give them a call and chat about it. They've done a lot of Cobras and a lot of AKs. They know what to expect, and it's all good. So many thanks to Martin and the team at Ream Machine. So there's a few things that we got to get on with. Basically, I've got IVA booked in about a month, so I've got a month to crack on, put all the shiny stuff back on. I've shown you how all the stuff fits already, so I'm not going to video me putting the lights back on and the washers, etc, etc. You can see I've already started. However, there's a few other things. Most body shops will actually ask for the door locks so they can gap and close the doors correctly. Ream Machine didn't. I sent the locks and everything up to them, but they didn't fit them. It's obviously gapped correctly. There's the door rubber there. They know what they're doing. So it has left me with having to fit the door locks with some the body filler, etc, or a bonding agent, etc. So that's going to be my first go at doing that, but because the doors obviously will close to where they're meant to and push against the rubber, then I should be able to adjust that and get it all fitting just right. So it's a job that I hadn't planned, but shouldn't be too difficult. Everything else is as I left it, really. So I just need to put all the lights on and fill a cap, etc, and see how we get on. I'm going to pretty much just do that. Put the windscreen on, obviously. I'm going to have to fit the air vents first, because I don't think you can get a screwdriver in against the rake of the windscreen. So do that first. I should be all right with a short screwdriver doing the rearview mirror. So I'm going to get on and fit all that, and then perhaps we'll have a closer look and a bit more video on, I don't know, bonding the locks, or any other features and issues I find as I continue. So I'll see you in a minute. All right then, so we'll have a quick catch up here. As you can see, I've got the headlights on, dead easy, 4 screws. And then I've spent the rest of the day putting the windscreen back on, which was a lot more difficult than it needed to be. So I'm going to cover this in a separate video when I make one describing and showing the hardtop that was fitted by 427 hardtops. But just to let you know that when they fit the hardtop, they will adjust the rake of the windscreen because it's a little bit upright when fitted using the AK instructions. And for the hardtop to be fitted, it needs to be just raked back slightly. So they do all that. They make new holes, etc. However, I don't think they fitted it with the escutcheons in place, which I did send to them, and they certainly didn't fit it with these screws, these bolts going through there either. So they were actually very out and needed a lot of work. I was expecting just to drop this windscreen in and it'd fit straight away, one go. It's actually been in and out 7 or 8 times, which is pretty hairy work on a brand newly painted shell. So I haven't enjoyed doing that at all, but what I had to do was basically make the slot in here a little bit longer, and let me just get rid of that wasp. Okay, wasp gone. Right then, so it's been in and out quite a lot, so I had to extend the slot slightly because this is further back, so it takes up more length in this slot. I also just slightly elongated the holes that I've made in here. Now, I wasn't screwing these in anyway because I don't like the way that these cut into the paint and could possibly lift it. So I actually make my holes bigger and then just put a sort of flat nut on the back. You know, so there's no pressure or tearing at the paintwork, if you like. So I had to make the slots for these screws just a little bit longer, and then the holes for these bolts here as well, I also had to make them longer, quite considerably. They ended up being another sort of 6mm back here, and obviously on the other side. So so yeah, it was pretty hard work, and I wasn't expecting it, and it was a lot of faff getting the windscreen in and out. But anyway, it's done now. Now, fortuitously, they put these fittings on for the hardtop to latch onto, I guess. But they do keep the original screws that came with it. So to pass IVA, I'm going to be taking out this attachment, this fitting on the side, and putting the original screws back in there, because they won't like that. And I don't know if they would like the actual hard top itself because it's not E-marked glass. So just bear that in mind. So I'm going to crack on now. Now I can't fit the wing mirrors either because they are not good for IVA. Instead, I'm getting some other wing mirrors that fit to the side of the screen and are very rounded and will pass IVA. So I'm not going to bother fitting these until I have to. So we're going to get on now. I've got to hook up again the windscreen wiper motor, put in the rear view mirror, and then we'll move on. All right, so it's all coming together there. I decided not to put on the rear view mirror that my customer has ordered because I don't think it'll pass IVA with the radius around the edge. So I've got my tried and tested mirror up here that goes onto this, just locks onto this center spar. It does wobble slightly, and I remember it is annoying as heck. And you can't really use it on any kind of road unless it's ultra smooth. So it's good for IVA with the radiuses, and then we'll be putting the other one in position there. Windscreen wipers all on successfully. Just need to probably just rotate that round a couple of knurls, just so it finishes actually on the windscreen. And my locks are in as well for the bonnet, so they all fit really nicely. And that's that bit. Okay, so now we turn our attention to the rear lights. Now, one of the IVA requirements is to have a reflector. So I've only done holes here for indicators and brake lights. So I'm going to do what I did on my previous car, and that's to fashion up a bracket so that I can attach the reflector housing and everything to a bracket that hangs out from the behind the brake light here. So that means I don't have to make any other holes, and it passes IVA. So I'm just going to show you how I did that. Now, it's not pretty, but it's not really seen. So let's go and have a look at what we're up to. Okay, so I've made these brackets here. They're actually very smooth, even though it looks like they're scratched. So these brackets will fit behind the lights, and then I've just cut an M5 bolt short so that I can attach it like this into the back of the reflector. So I'm just going to mount this up now and show you, and the only bit that you'll be able to see is a little bit here. Of course you could hammerite that or paint it. I'm just going to leave it. You're going to barely see it. You could remove these after IVA and put them back on for each MOT, because I think MOTs also need to show a reflector. Personally, I think they look pretty good once mounted, and I would recommend leaving them in situ permanently. So let's have a look, see what this abomination looks like. Right, actually before we head down there, I just want to say I did just not thread lock this bolt in place so it can't undo, and I need to be protecting the paintwork. So I've got this 0.5mm rubber sheet, and I'm just going to cut a circle to fit behind here, so that when we mount this all up onto the body's protected from this metal, because the paint job is just too nice to, even though you might never undo this, or the fact is that where this mounts will always be hidden by the rear light. I still like to protect the paintwork, so I'm just going to cut this out and then we can mount it all up. So there we have it, two reflectors mounted nicely, all paint protected by a little thin sheet of rubber, and I think that's quite a nice solution if you don't want to put extra holes in the car. Right, onto the filler cap now. So hopefully that'll just fit in. Hopefully the paint hasn't closed up the holes too much, otherwise a little jeweler's file just to open them up very slightly. If I open them up, then I will just run a little bit of paint around the inside, just to stop any moisture being able to get underneath the paint surface and start lifting the paint. So I did mark the filler cap with the which way round it had to end, and which holes go to which holes. So I'm going to put that in there, and we'll see how that looks. Alright, so there we go. This has all been quite successful. I haven't clamped it down with massive amount of strength. I didn't want to start cracking any of the bodywork or the paint, etc. They're there so they do not move. All nicely in line, and finished up the fuel filler underneath. Big Michelor clamps, and that all goes out. Just going to have to tidy up that hole into the boot area there. Obviously a bit of carpet on the other side, and then I'll probably just seal it this side, and that should all look good. So now we have to fit the cap and turn this round with utmost care, keeping this upright so that it all misses the bodywork, right? So I'm just going to do that with two hands. We have it. So if all your measurements are correct, it turns around until you give it plenty of oomph, so the average yob can't unscrew it and steal it. and it should finish, so it just clears the paintwork. And mine's probably around a touch too far, but I have got a good couple of post-it notes between the paintwork and the cap there, so it's in a good orientation. It'll pass IVA. Remember to keep the rubber cap on, and we can open and close it with no fear of it hitting the paintwork. And I think that is looking pretty special. So happy with that job. What's next? All right, there we go. To finish up this video, I've just put on the number plate light. That all just slotted straight into place, a couple of bolts, and then the final one screw for the chrome cover. So we're all done there. All right, so there we go. Thanks for sticking with me. Sorry about the long delay, but we should have more regular videos from now. That's about all I can handle in this video, but in the next video I'll be bonding in the door locks, which is something I've never done. So yeah, join me for that, and some other stuff as well. See you again.